If you have any doubt about the existence of poltergeists, this pair of videos will help put them to rest. The first was published by Tommy Wells in June of 2011. Filmed in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, it turns out this poltergeist is not so pleasant. The first clip shows little Christina's birthday party. After singing happy birthday, blowing out the candles, and starting to cut the cake, suddenly the faucet turns on full blast by itself.
Did you like the bicycle stuff you got for your birthday?
Oh my God, Tommy, it's gonna start again.
The family is afraid that it is going to start again and mess things up for everybody, but they're not sure exactly how it's going to happen. One of the adults shut off the faucet as another corralled the kids toward another room. Then things do start again. Pots and pans are projectiled from an upper cupboard, while the drawers open and close aggressively. One comes completely off its hinges and falls on the floor.
What the going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room. Let's go.
As if that weren't enough to convince you, in a second clip posted in November of 2013 by Bill Gursky, the owner says that things keep moving around the house. As he's talking about eating a pomegranate, the bowl he sets out on the counter has moved. He continues, stepping away from the counter, and over his shoulder, the bowl falls completely off the counter and onto the floor.
I'm kind of losing it here. Holy shit.
Security cameras around his home also show doors opening and closing on their own, a cushion falling off a piano bench, sheet music flying off the piano stand, sheet by sheet, and again the closet door opening and closing. Now, do you believe? An adventurer from India goes exploring an abandoned house to see if it's really as haunted as they say. Within less than 2 minutes of entering the forsaken building, the explorer has his answer.
करके तो उसी जगह पर ये
A heavy negative energy looms in the air. All the rooms look the same, even the last one, except it has something extra waiting inside.
वो देखिए वो क्या चीज़ खड़ी है
A figure stands in the corner, and at 4 minutes and 25 seconds, a volley of ghost orbs seem to rush out of its silhouette frame upon being found. Orbs continue to dance all around as the figure inches towards with its head down. They continue for half a minute and only stop when the figure crosses into the next room. At no other point in the video do so many of these appear, only here when its presence is nearby. When he looks into the next room, the orbs have stopped and the figure is gone. The encounter is over, and he is left wondering the meaning of what he just saw. Full respect goes to YouTuber Rex Travolta for somehow obtaining this cry-out-loud creepy CCTV footage of a haunted driving school in Puchong. A man goes into the building late at night to wait for his girlfriend for a late-night meetup. Little does he know tonight's date is about to get cancelled for paranormal reasons. The computer monitor somehow turns on at the same time, and when he checks the wiring underneath, the screens briefly flash in unison. He runs out of there scared out of his mind, and that's when a ghost decides its work is done as it shuts the door and pulls up a chair. The video looks paranormal at first, but I think it could be really good stop motion photography that you don't notice because the camera's been skipping frames the whole time. And as for the monitors, maybe the computers were already on and had some kind of screensaver on a timer to make it look like they went on at once. A small cluster of weird deep-sea creatures seem to be embedded inside a piece of coral that broke off and floated ashore. One of the creatures is still moving and seems to retreat from the camera upon getting sighted. I wonder what they look like out of their coral encasement, probably even scarier. Anyway, no one has identified these unknown creatures in the comments, and the uploader of this video describes them only as weird creatures at the beach and leaves it at that. So let's help solve the mystery and figure out what these are. Myron May has been hearing voices in his head for quite some time, and now he is convinced that he is being followed by government agents as a part of an experimental program. The only way out of this experiment, in his mind at least, was to do something terrible. He makes a 2-hour video confession detailing the circumstances that led him to this point. He spends a good amount of time saying goodbye to everyone he knows and praying over those who are about to lose their lives because of him.
Please let those who are harmed in any way by my actions give them a spirit of contentment and peace.
It's startling how he obviously feels compassion, but still chooses to go ahead with it anyway. His plan is to draw national attention to himself and expose a terrible government experiment.
I hope that my story gets some media attention.
Shortly after making this video, Myron May walks into the library of Florida State University and opens fire into a crowd. Police are forced to take his life. I think Myron was almost certainly suffering from a mental disorder causing paranoia while making this confession, but there are some people out there who really do believe his words. You might complain about how long public transportation takes and how uncomfortable it can sometimes be, but rarely do you think about how you are boxed in with a large group of people who you don't know and how anything could happen. 2 students in Glendale, Wisconsin get in an argument over a cell phone, and one of them calls their mom. It sounds like typical high school drama until the moment the mom makes it so much worse when she hunts down the school bus and cuts it off with her car. This is super dangerous, and I can't believe a mother would pull a stunt on a school bus full of students, let alone one with her own kin on it. I'm glad the bus has really good brakes and stops in time, because everyone knows they don't have seatbelts. This could have been really bad.
Called her mom, who soon caught up with the bus.
But this mom isn't done. She pulls on the door 3 times before pounding it with a hammer. She clearly isn't thinking straight. The bus driver is aware that this is a student's mother, but she sure isn't going to open the door. She calls the police instead, which is what I would have done, and then she drives away from the situation because it's too dangerous, which is the right choice in my opinion. Only when the daughter starts going after the bus driver with a broom does the driver pull over and let her off. She could have driven to a police station, but she wanted to keep her other students safe and get the problem passenger out of here. The behavior of this Wisconsin mom goes way too far, and her daughter's outburst isn't much better. Kids could have really gotten hurt because of this, and I'm glad no one was. This video, taken on a bus full of high school and middle school students in Northampton, PA, shows erratic behavior behind the wheel. Students say that she was driving fast on the wrong side of the road. The video doesn't show if she was in her lane or not, but if the whole bus says it happened, then it's probably true. The camera is shaking like they are going fast, and students bump around in their seats more than normal, and they sound nervous too.
Oh my god, I'm literally getting off the bus. Call the school. This is not even funny.
Nobody is screaming or anything like that, but they are worried enough to demand to be let off, which would be pretty scary.
Pull over!
You know the fear is real if students were willing to get home from school later than normal, and not a single person wants to remain on the bus when given the option. One girl even votes twice.
Yes! Yes!
Instead of calling their parents like she said, the bus driver just dumps them at a gas station and walks off. Her balance looks normal, but I think she might be on something. The situation is so absurd that some people will think it's funny, but there would have been nothing funny about a flipped over school bus if she had kept driving that way. She faces up to 12 years behind bars, and as of this video, she has yet to be sentenced. What do you think should happen to her based on this display? Finally, a bus driver tells these students in Graham, Washington that they are safe to start a fresh day of school, and they run with excitement. A white SUV ignores the flashing bus lights. When you look from a different perspective, you can see how close they were to those poor kids. It was inches away. So I guess my point is feeling safe on a bus is a big mistake. Known as the Mcpike Mansion, the 19th century St. Louis home is pitched on Mount Lookout. The homeowner claims the enormous mansion is haunted by the former owner and his servants, which has prompted many haunted tours of the place and invited many a paranormal investigator to appeal to the spirits within. This investigation clearly turns up some evidence that the home is indeed haunted. Published by The Paranormal Files in August of 2021, this haunted house is undeniably disturbing. While downstairs, they hear a thumping noise coming from above.
Definitely stuff going on. What the f was that? There's somebody down here. Hello?
As they're listening in, looking at the ceiling above them, another scary noise hits too close to home. It seems that something is down there with them. While they try to determine what that something is, the thumping sound occurs above them yet again. This time, it sounds like footsteps are crossing over the landing above. As they're about to call it a day and leave the cellar, one of the sensors goes off.
Oh, what the f? The moment I stepped in here. Yeah, this is the first time this has gone off.
Beeping incessantly, the sensors repeatedly sound off, sometimes pausing before beeping again. Later, as they're leaving, they spot a load of centipedes on the wall, spiders hanging overhead, and Colin feels as though something touched or landed on his shoulder.
Jesus.
You guys come out with the light. I can't see what I'm even dealing with. Let's turn it this way. Oh, he's gone.
Is it the hand of whatever was making so much noise within, or a wolf spider going for a ride? Not sure which is worse. Anthony Powell was a YouTuber who stalked another YouTuber named Asia McGowan back in 2009. All of his videos have since been taken down, but they were mostly long religious rants, which almost always referred to women in a demeaning way.
And is obedient to her husband, submissive to her husband.
After a while, his video confessions became even more dark and desolate than usual. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it's pretty clear from these videos that some sort of drastic change occurred.
Nothing for me to do in this life. I don't have no purpose. There's no point. There's no point to me living anymore.
The people he was closest with eventually reported his videos to the police purely out of concern, but with no actual actions committed yet. There was little that could be done. Eventually all of that would change soon enough. On April 10th of 2009, Anthony Powell walked behind a fellow student named Asia McGowan and took her life and then took his own life. As far as I could tell, there was no real reason for Anthony to choose her out of everyone else. Intruder footage has a way of making you feel completely creeped out. Posted to YouTube in February of this year, 2020. This surveillance footage shows several alleged intruder entries at Tokyo Garden at Bakersfield, California. The owner of the Tokyo Garden restaurant, Thomas Park, claims that the place has been the target of intruders on at least 4 occasions over the last several months. Park says although he's filed authorities reports for the incidents, he's not sure what the authorities have done to solve them. It's gotten to the point where I don't feel safe and my customers don't feel safe, Park told KGET News. The surveillance footage shows the unknown individuals breaking through the windows, glass doors, and other panels to take sales equipment and cash. According to Park, other area restaurants including McDonald's and Sakura Cafe have also recently been targets. In the first clip in the video, an unknown individual enters through the front door and rummages through drawers to find whatever he can to make it worth his while. On a separate occasion, the second clip reveals an unknown individual with a backpack entering through the window, also rummaging through the same set of drawers, and assumedly leaving with some cash or valuables. A third clip, another masked man enters through a separate window, looking carefully through the entire area, above which the register is kept. The unknown individual puts a few things into his or her backpack before taking off. Do you feel creeped out just watching this? Woodland, California. Roseville, California. 2 cities, 2 incidences, 2 suspects, and 2 ring videos that caught them in the act. Their target? Prius catalytic converters. These catalytic converters are inviting to thieves as the precious metals used in them can be recycled and sold for profit. In both videos, the 2 hooded thieves saw off their converter, retrieve their jack, and then race to the getaway car. One man is under the car getting his hands dirty, while the other looks on, prepared to take off. The Prius alarm goes off, but by the time someone is alerted, it's too late. The men are gone and are on their way to B. In the Woodland case, the owner of the Prius raced out after them in his underwear, brandishing a barbell. In the Roseville case, the owner wasn't aware that they'd made off with his car's catalytic converter in the moment, but when he discovered it later, was angry about the added expense at a difficult time. The converter is reported to run around $3,000. Both ring videos show the same silver SUV and blue jack, confirming that the thefts were organized. Arrests were made a month after these 2 surveillance videos were captured, with police charging 2 suspects in at least 61 similar incidences across Northern California after a 5-month-long investigation. It's probably time to get a garage. CERN is the name of an ominous lab nestled on the border of Switzerland and France, but for now all you need to know is that this is where a ritual shocked the science community and launched an investigation into the mysterious facility and its workers. On August of 2016, a scared man watches a group gather in the courtyard from his window. They wear black shrouds and walk slowly as they circle around someone who stands in the middle. The man can't believe what he's seeing and records all of it for proof. At 22 seconds, the person's shroud is removed to reveal a gown of all white. They kneel down and submit to a statue. One of them, the leader I suppose, walks to the statue and turns around to face the person in white with his arm up. The person in white offers no resistance and does not move. Everyone kneels except for the leader. At 46 seconds, an object in his hand gleams in the light as he moves forward, and that's when it happens. The ritual ends with the person standing over the target and getting them in the neck from what I can tell. Though it's hard to see from this angle and something is blocking them when it happens. Knowing that everyone there was a threat and that he could be next, the whistleblower immediately posted this video to their Twitter account for all to see, or at least that's how one version goes. CERN launched an internal investigation and declared this was a joke that got way out of hand. Some people were disciplined and let go. Many disagree with the results of the investigation and think it's real. Here's why. The lab is high-tech, well-known and well-guarded. A large ritual happened right in the middle of the courtyard, and security never came out once. If this was a joke, then security should have stopped it. An internal investigation says that this is a joke, but they never provide solid evidence as to how they came to this conclusion. I'll let you come to your own conclusions, but to me, none of this sounds good. Heather Mack is on vacation with her mother and boyfriend in Indonesia when she develops a twisted plan. She convinces her boyfriend to help her savagely end her poor mother's life. Together, they jam her lifeless body into a suitcase and leave it in the trunk of a taxi. She knows that she will get caught anyway, so afterwards, Heather makes a 3-part video series on her YouTube channel with her version of what happened. It's still online to this day. She claims she took her mother's life as an act of revenge.
I regret trapping an innocent person into this because it was my battle. It's my mother, it was my father.
This confession, however, is actually full of lies to make her case look better. Heather and her boyfriend most likely took her mother's life to claim a large inheritance of $1.5 million. An Indonesian court sentenced Heather to 10 years in prison and her boyfriend to 18 years. I watched all 3 of her videos, and I think she is lying about her motives, and especially about her boyfriend's innocence. No matter whether she's telling the truth or not, It's startling how calm she remains while explaining her actions. There is an unknown flying object unlike any you've ever seen before, posted to the r/chills narrator subreddit. Lucky1196 is wondering. This redditor wrote, "Any guesses? Let's take a look." The mysterious video shows an amorphous blob of light in the sky. Somehow it looks solid and liquid, white and glowing against the white cloud background. The blob floats away from the pair while they wonder aloud at what it might be.
It's not a plane. What is it?
Wow. Is this an unknown flying object, or as one redditor suggests, just a weather balloon? I don't know if we'll ever know for sure.
Did you see something?
What's that back there?
More proof that Randonautica might just randomly take you to your demise. Premiering on YouTube in June of 2021, Hunting the Dead goes on a Randonautica adventure that takes them in a lurid direction.
Like a little old shack or bomb shelter looking thing in these woods. I bet you these woods have secrets here, guys.
Jody is directed to a forested area near a parking lot. Beyond is a freeway, and they're headed in the direction of a chain link fence and told to progress about 100 feet. Just as they're deciding if it's worth it or not, they hear something in the brush.
What was that?
What was it?
I have no idea. I just heard somebody say something.
They also believe they heard someone speak.
Hello? Bro, I just heard it again. Here, let's go.
But they don't investigate the matter, instead heading off. They note that it smelled like someone or something had passed away over there. A week later, on a separate Randonautica adventure at night, they are led to a historic wooden shack. As they're about to get out of the car to explore it, Alicia warns Jody not to get out, saying she saw a shadow move.
Whoa!
What?
No, don't get out.
What?
Close the door.
What?
Close the door.
What do you mean?
No, stay right here. Wait.
What did you see?
I think I seen a shadow of somebody walk by.
She said it walked by from the bicycle path, but this was not caught on camera. Despite the warning, Jody ends up getting out to check the shack, and he probably shouldn't have. As he enters and directs his camera up the stairs, a terrifying sound is heard. It sounds like a voice out of a horror movie and almost like it was played on a recording device rather than spoken. It's a strange and haunting sound which immediately launches Jody back to his car.
Hello? There's someone here.
Next, they're led to another old house that looks like a legitimate abandoned shack. While sitting there, they hear something, but it's inaudible to the audience. They say it sounds like kids.
Sounds like a bunch of kids. Hey.
Out here playing this late?
Yeah, there's a car pulling up right behind us there.
They say it looked like a horned beast, like a goat man. Goat man or not, there's definitely something there. And we don't want to stick around to find out what it exactly is. This place just might be haunted by something nefarious. Published by Humboldt Pet Supply in October of 2018, the store's security camera footage reveals a series of creepy incidents that cannot be explained. The first involves a package falling off a shelf on its own. The shop attendant continues to shelve items and then heads over to put the package back. A moment later, after she walks away, the package falls from the shelf again. This time, it also moves across the floor a bit on its own. Another clip shows a cat named Diego pacing the shop. An incongruent shadow cat appears in the light from the doorway. There don't appear to be any other cats in the store, but the real and the shadow one. In a third clip, another package falls from its place and moves strangely across the floor. It drifts slowly until it catches Diego, the cat's attention. As the cat approaches it tentatively, the package moves, causing Diego to jump. The cat paws it for a second before he decides he wants nothing to do with this. The package continues across the floor on its own. Is this perhaps the shadow cat playing around with the real one? Seems pretty catty to me. Pekka Eric Auvinen was a student in Finland who eventually opened fire on his peers one day at school in 2007. A number of bleak YouTube videos were posted on his YouTube channel shortly before it happened. In one video, Pekka Eric uses the exact same firearm on an apple in the woods. The title of the video says that he was just testing the firearm, perhaps in a grim foreshadowing what was yet to come. In another video, a song called Stray Bullet plays over pictures of his high school. There are also pictures of him posing with a firearm, obviously glamorizing what was about to happen. I can't help but wonder if he would have been stopped if these videos had been turned into authorities in time. If you see anything like this on the YouTube channel of someone you know, I would hope you act quickly to prevent something like this. Go into the forest, and you may never come out alive. YouTuber Clover Forest Creature posted a series of videos that might deter you from ever entering the forest again. The YouTuber writes, "We are uploading these videos, hoping that people can help us identify this animal or help explain what is happening here." According to the video, they'd been hearing strange noises emanating from the forest over the past week, and when they asked their neighbors, they discovered that others had seen lights coming from the forest interior. Pets had also gone missing in the area. Expecting to find some stray animal in the forest that was perhaps responsible, they discovered something else. In the first video, they find something hanging from a tree branch, which they say looks like a doll. As they continue to wander into the dark forest, they hear something in the brush.
Really? Listen. Whoa.
They run away from whatever it was that made that noise. After debating whether or not to go back, they see bright red lights coming towards them. Are they the burning coal eyes of some unknown creature or something else? You'll have to watch the entire series to find out. Are you a social media influencer? The next time you're off in your own world, filming your next Twitter phenom, don't look over your shoulder. Posted to YouTube by BTS in May of 2019, this video will haunt you. The Twitter video begins like any other, with its star checking himself out in the camera before taking some film of the passing city scene outside his car window. Looks just like a normal everyday video to brighten everyone's Twitter feed, but as many YouTubers pointed out in the comments of this video, some random shadow appears behind the star's left shoulder. What is this creeping shadow lingering just behind him? Is it something paranormal or just a ghostly fan watching him? Judge for yourself. Either way, it's 100% frightening. A paranormal YouTube channel known as Exploring Darkness goes on a two-person investigation that leaves them, in their words,
really an exploring video.
What in the world?
I said we're gonna call this an exploring video. Now I'm getting scared.
knowing what true evil feels like by the time they're through.
Is someone in here?
Here's the roof. Nope.
On reviewing the video evidence, the research team sees a hooded figure at 3 minutes 51 seconds. Paranormal or not, there's no doubt that this is the person responsible for making all of the noise. Freaky, right? Joe Paccini is obsessed with a singer named Sarah Bareilles, and he believes their destiny is to be together forever. He makes a bizarre YouTube video ranting about how members of the occult, the CIA, and the FBI are all working together to frame him and keep this romance from happening.
Clearly these guys want me dead. We're in prison, and there's no way I'm going back to prison. Nope.
The video is hard to understand because of his disjointed, rambling logic, but apparently there was some kind of incident at the local gym, and now a police detective is calling Joe's number.
Hello, my name is Matt Huffnell. I'm a detective with Haverford Township PD. I'm trying to reach Joe Paccini concerning an incident report that was made at the LA Fitness here in Havertown. Joe, could you give me a call at your earliest convenience?
This simple request sends Joe over the edge. Instead of calling the investigator back, Joe makes a series of YouTube videos threatening the investigator along with his entire department.
You want to try to bring me down? I will kill you and your whole family, alright? So go ahead and
Joe switches from calm and collected to yelling and screaming as he tells everyone to back off. He eventually calls the detective back and leaves a message telling him to check out his YouTube channel for more information. The police eventually find Joe driving around and immediately pull his vehicle over. According to their report, Joe backed his car into a cruiser and they took his life immediately. I was never able to find out what happened at the gym, so if you know why the police initially contacted him, then please let me know. Do you hear that haunting melody? And maybe the vocalizations of an actual ghost? Posted by Charger3933 to the Ghosts subreddit. This clip captures a ghostly song in the abandoned Asylum, Eloise Psychiatric Hospital in Michigan, which we've discussed at length in previous top 15s. Charger notes in the comments that he did not hear the singing during the visit, only afterwards when he listened back to the recording. The Redditor was wandering around the abandoned asylum with a friend when he heard disembodied footsteps coming up the stairs. As he tried to capture the footsteps via a Snapchat video, he heard screaming from a distance. He saved the video and later heard the haunting singing as well. Redditor Wubbelubbit Dubbity Doo in the comments writes, obviously we have to take the audio with a grain of salt because it's possible someone was hidden in the building. That being said, I hear the screams and sleep freaky AF. The same Redditor later notes in the thread that the uploader basically caught an EVP. He also remarks that he too hears the footsteps or something moving nearby. The uploader states that he tried to stay as still as possible, and that he would also consider this an EVP, as he did not hear the singing in real time. Redditor quite fast agrees that the singing sounds like a lullaby. The Redditor tried to isolate the woman's voice, and added a clearer clip to the thread. The humming voice sounds even spookier with the audio cleared up, and is quite fast notes. You can almost hear the words safe and sound. Do you feel safe and sound after watching this video? A channel called Gus Idris Official has officially creeped me out with this scary video.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Itu Allahu Akbar. Mas! Mas, kejar mas! Mas!
He's exploring an abandoned house in Bali, Indonesia, when a red-robed figure is caught in his light in what could be a real ghost video. The strange figure is caught on camera mysteriously disappearing but for a few scary moments, or maybe it's simply stepping to the side. They run upstairs and find a different figure waiting for them, this one in white, not red like before. That's when they decide it's time to set this ghost free. According to local lore, untying the shroud is the only way to release the spirit from the earth. He does so, and this one seems to mysteriously disappear just like the legends say. They continue exploring the abandoned haunted building for paranormal evidence when suddenly a solid black orb flies at them and possibly goes into one of the investigators. What's caught next could be a paranormal takeover caught on tape.
Lempar mas. Saya anu ini kepalanya gitu kan. Biasa.
It sounds pretty convincing, but his face looks dry at 34 minutes and 2 seconds, no visible tears, so he might not have really been crying. A small part of me wants to believe that this is a real ghost sighting that progressed into something even more terrifying, but it could just be good acting. If you work in gas, the last thing you would want is a blast. That becomes clear with this video, which shows the exact moment when a refinery blasted. The footage unveils a series of blasts tearing through the largest East Coast refinery located in South Philadelphia. Reported by CNBC in June of 2019, the 3 blasts occurred in a vat of propane and caused the enormous flames seen here. According to reports, it turned the sky orange and its heat could be felt for miles around. An event like this is horrifying, and let's hope nothing similar happens again in the near future. 2 friends find a giant spider in a cave and argue about how to properly put its size to scale.
The spider here. It's a biggie.
There's a carabiner.
Okay.
So put your hand there.
I'm not putting my hand any closer. You can just bring the camera out.
They are trying to use a piece of climbing equipment to illustrate how large it is. But since some people don't know how big that buckle is, one friend encourages the other to use his bare hand. Joe refuses, so it's up to his friend to do it himself. He slowly lowers his hand over the arachnid. If the shadow of his passes over it, then it's going to feel threatened and lunge forward to defend itself. He has only one word to say.
Big. Who knows where my hand's gonna go?
I'm not sure what kind of spider this is, but the striped markings on its legs seems to suggest that it could be venomous. It's a good thing he didn't press his luck, because being stuck in a cave maze after getting dosed by one could easily spell his end. It's hard to say what size pizza this spider will fully grow into, but I wouldn't want to stick around and find out. I'd be out of that cave ASAP. Mother Nature sometimes digs up monsters. That was the case during the 2011 tsunami in Japan. The scary video is proof that there are plenty of species in our oceans that we haven't yet met. The clip shows floodwaters tearing through the Japanese coast. Well, this is disturbing enough. Don't be distracted by all the debris. Instead, look closely at this waterway. What looks to be either translucent vapor or a big spout of water shoots up in the air like a geyser before vanishing like a ghost. Some are saying it is a ghost, while others think it's a propane tank discharging when its regulator was torn off. A few people think it may be marine life with highly effective camouflage skills. Where do you land in this debate? My guess is something paranormal. Austin Jones is a YouTuber turned pop singer who got into a lot of trouble over his numerous improper online relations with fans under 18. It all started in 2015. When he confessed to frequently asking teenage girls to make dance videos for him.
I used to ask fans for twerking videos. It's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something that I think is right. And I shouldn't have done it.
The 16-minute apology video goes on to make some clarifications about the rumor.
Nothing ever went further than twerking videos. They were never.
The confession concludes with Austin Jones claiming to be a better person who has learned from his mistakes. 2 years later, however, he was arrested by Chicago police for pretty much the exact same thing, except it was even worse than we all thought. Multiple fans soon came forward and told authorities that Austin Jones had inappropriate interactions with them online. One girl said she made 25 videos for him, 8 of which were very mature in nature. Since then, police have searched his computer and charged him with 2 counts of producing underage materials. The case is still currently underway and the former pop star is confined to his home in the meantime. Unable to use the internet by court order, he has not uploaded in over a year. Images sometimes crop up on Google Maps Street View that are incredibly suspect. This Google capture is a bit more supernatural. Published to YouTube by The Hidden Underbelly 2.0 in August of 2018. This image was captured at Martha Chapel Cemetery in Huntsville, Texas. As one of the country's oldest cemeteries, Martha Chapel was built in the early 19th century. According to travel guide expert Dana Goolsby, the road leading to the cemetery is nicknamed Demon's Road. It earned this nickname from alleged encounters with the spirits that haunt the area. According to Goolsby, visitors to the cemetery sometimes find large handprints on their vehicles. Is something supernatural making its mark? According to the Houston Chronicle, the Google Maps Street View image was uploaded to YouTube in August of 2018, where it started trending. The image shows headstones near a fence line, surrounded by trees. Behind one of these trees hides a ghostly little girl. The grayish tint of her skin gives her a phantom glow as she peers around the corner of the tree. But wait, that's not the only haunting figure in view. Behind the fence line, walking amongst tall tombstones, is a dark cloaked figure. The phantom being definitely looks out of place. Maybe the cloaked figure is seeking this girl. We hope it doesn't find her. Maybe you aren't paranoid, but you might be followed. Published by Jasco in June of 2021. This is part 8 in a series of Randonautica experiences over several days. Jasco and his crew are using the app down in Florida State. During their Randonautica tour, they find an old sofa in the forest.
But,
Wendy's?
What we're here for is this. Yeah.
After some coaxing, Jasco lifts a mysterious item that's tucked into its cushions.
Looks like a video game or something. What the hell?
Is it an iPod?
Yeah, what's one of the old iPhones?
No.
Why is it like in saran wrap? Oh,
Wait.
That item turns out to be an old iPhone saran wrapped to the letters C and F.
Feel a little bit safer.
It is an iPhone. Look at that. iPhone.
Bro, I always wanted they had like a coral one.
That's so weird.
Okay.
What?
We just found a phone in the middle of nowhere.
I know, it's super old.
They try to turn the iPhone on, but its battery is empty. Later on the mission, Jasco says Chris has been hearing something all day, and now he hears it too.
Like, where else could it be? I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. Yo,
like, what would
literally, hold on. Can we talk about something quick? You've been hearing things like all day long. Like, you're like, bro, what is that? Like, I hear like some type of beeping.
A beeping sound. Jen finds its source.
This!
What?
It's a tile tracker, bro.
That's one of those little...
A tile tracking device. She said she found it in between the middle console. They run it over, but it's still functioning.
Hold on, I'm gonna...
All this time they were being tracked. Someone was in their rental car the day before and planted it. But who? My guess is someone with ill intentions. If you have a chance to visit a former institute, don't. Published by Steve Ronan in October of 2021, this pair of scary videos will send you running for the hills. In the first video, Ronan talks about how Lektworth is where unethical testing was done on patients. When journalists exposed this, the place was shut down. As he's putting on some gear later, he hears someone near. He thinks it's Mo.
Mo?
Another sound is heard, and it doesn't seem to be the crew.
Okay, someone else has to come with me because I legit heard something. What the You okay?
Okay, that wasn't me.
They think it came from an adjacent room. The paranormal activity ramps up when one of the crew thinks he saw a person. They are later walking down a hallway when a door either opens or closes behind them.
Like someone or something walking outside.
They catch the sound on 2 separate cameras.
Walking outside.
As they continue moving through Lektworth, a sound like a rock being thrown occurs to their left.
What's this door? What the f?
They then attempt to open the doors ahead, and something shuts the door on one of them.
Nothing in here.
What was that?
What?
There's something that shut the door on me. It literally just shut the
What?
There's someone behind the door. There's someone actually behind the door.
They pry the door open again to see if there's someone inside, but it's an empty room. As they're wondering if someone fled through the window, their answer arrives in the form of the door slamming shut.
What the f? Yo. It's hard.
It won't open, and they call out for Mo to push from the other side. Mo manages to kick the door open, and they're all relieved to be out of that room. They then talk to the spirits, asking them to come in contact again, and the spirits answer in kind.
If that was your way of making contact with us, can you do it again?
Yo!
They race down the hallway, fleeing for their lives, but before they do, they look in this room one more time. Finding it empty again, something starts banging loudly and repeatedly in the dark hallway.
go through the window. The bushes were rumbling too.
Still nothing to be seen. As they're heading to the stairs toward the creepy basement, a creaky door is heard opening and closing.
It's gonna take us to the basement. Yo. Who is that?
In the team's second video, they explore the basement, which they soon discover is just as creepy as the floor above. They attempt to speak with the demons using a phone EVP. As they're communicating, another bang is heard behind them.
Are you angry right now?
When they start challenging the demons to slam a door shut, things get a little crazy, claiming he saw the door shake a little.
2 minutes. Okay. Oh, guys. It just moved.
Mo soon starts to get woozy.
Oh, I'm feeling weird. Oh, yeah. Mo? I'm feeling lightheaded. Dude, your face got all pale.
Pale-faced, Mo says he feels dizzy and lightheaded and so sits down for a moment. They're heading down the stairs when Mo gets dizzy again and falls to the ground. Later, he is not being himself and becomes aggressive with the rest of the crew.
Where is he? I don't know, man. Just be careful. He's not himself.
Has Mo become possessed? Guess that's what happens when you start challenging demons. Do you believe in the paranormal? Are you paranoid someone's watching? Then the paranormal paranoids are here to guide you. Introducing your guides, Peter, Laura, David, and Riley. These videos were posted by the Twitter account Just the Paranoid. The first video is set in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. The crew enters a wooded area, and Riley explains why they're here. She says that to the locals, these woods are a setting for a sinister story.
To most people, this forest is the same as any, but to the people of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, who remember what occurred in 1994, these woods hold a sinister story.
In 1994, a young married couple crossed paths with a lifeless body along the path. Mary Talbert had sadly taken her own life. Being that she did so on a very public path, the takeaway is that Mary wanted to be found. The group paused near the tree where it happened.
This is where it happened. It was almost as if she wanted to be found, wanted to be seen.
They pose for pictures and leave. While watching the footage back, they discovered a few things they hadn't noticed in person. Upon first entering the woods, a disembodied face appears in the trees.
I don't think it's there, Peter. Yeah.
Later, as they are leaving, the camera catches someone standing behind a tree, perhaps watching them, but the creepiest image comes as they're posing for pictures near Mary's tree. Lurking in the distance is a figure that looks as though it's wearing a cloak with something draped over its face.
Over here.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing?
Smiling, right? Yeah.
Smile? Yeah. Okay.
Are you paranoid yet? If not, take a journey through Dark County Correctional Facility with the Paranormal Paranoid crew in their second video.
It all happened here, inside of these walls.
While they are wandering through, Peter is observing letters written on a window when they hear something in the next room.
What is that?
But they could find nothing there. They continue on, heading upstairs, where they discover a bunch of books open on a counter. They wander through the area where prisoners were kept in solitary confinement.
And the inmates that were brought here in the 1930s, they were maximum security.
Then up a narrow staircase, and back to more prison cells.
Did you do that?
Wait, did you do that?
I didn't touch anything.
Riley is leading the way when suddenly she stops and her face is full of fear.
What?
She said she suddenly felt cold, and you can literally see her breath on video.
Yeah, you feel what?
Cold. Holy shit. Riley, what? What?
According to the crew, the camera cut out and didn't record anything for a couple minutes. When it returns, they cast a light down one hall, which shows just how far and deep this well goes.
Look at this.
How far back does that go?
I have no idea.
That's pretty cool, yeah, sorry. So, get this shot.
And just how many prisoner stories it holds. One last tour by the Paranormal Paranoids see the crew at Lincoln Elementary, whose haunted halls have stories to tell.
So we made it. Lincoln Elementary. This school has an incredible haunted history, dating all the way back to 1976.
One morning in 1976, staff showed up to a filthy school. Although they called the janitor, there was no answer. Upon entering the janitor's closet to obtain cleaning supplies, they discovered the janitor passed away in horrific fashion. According to Riley, every bone in the janitor's body was broken, and his mop was shoved down his throat with just the strings hanging out. Ever since, the place has cycled through janitors, with no one staying long, as mysterious things kept happening. Rooms that had already been mysteriously cleaned, a solidly locked janitor's closet.
Is the legend true? David, what do you think?
I don't know.
They enter the school and for some reason head exactly where you wouldn't want to go, into the basement. That's when this happens. Though the bang terrifies them, they continue on, heading into what appears to be the boiler room. Something is clanging around. And then there's another big bang.
What was that? Riley, what was that? Riley, don't go out by yourself, Riley.
As they panic, what they see next freaks them out even more. A quiet whistle alerts them to a figure with a white face and glowing eyes standing in a doorway.
Chill, chill. Where did that come from? I don't know.
He shuts the door as they take off in fear up the stairs. Are the paranormal paranoids onto something? Whether or not they attract the paranormal, their paranoia seems more than justified. UBA is a rapper from Mexico with a fairly popular YouTube channel. Recently, he admitted to the police that he has been working for the New Generation Cartel, which is basically the Mexican mafia. He has taken at least 3 people's lives and even dissolved them in vats of acid. Now police are working hard analyzing his music videos to determine if he has ever confessed to anything else in one of his songs. After all, anyone in the video could be an accomplice, and every lyric or camera shot could be another potential piece of evidence. I watched a lot of his videos for more clues, and the only thing I noticed was how one setting in particular would repeatedly come up. It's always this small wooded area that's by some train tracks. It could just be my imagination, but I can't help but wonder if maybe a 4th body would be found here if police were able to do some investigating in this area. Something's in the water. A boy from Phoenix, Arizona grabbed his camera when the water in his above ground pool began sloshing around at 9 at night. The sound had woken him up, so he told his mother and they went to investigate. Waves were still disrupting the pool when they went to check it out, and although the adults walked all around the perimeter, they couldn't see what was causing the disturbance. There was in fact a quake in the state the same day, but it was hundreds of miles away in Littlefield at around 7 in the morning. Geologists say no aftershocks could have caused the pool's mysterious waves, but there's one promising theory. Members of 12 News audience believed a phenomenon called a seiche could have caused the disturbance. A seiche is when water oscillates in enclosed bodies of water, like pools for instance, usually due to changes in atmospheric pressure. So is it a sheesh, or is there something more disturbing in the water? When you venture onto the grounds of a former battlefield, take note, it's likely haunted. The YouTuber explains that he and his family were vacationing in Washington, D.C. when they visited the Manassas battlefield. The battle resulted in a large number of passings. Needless to say, this is a place worth haunting, and apparently this YouTuber's got the goods. He writes, "We videotaped there, and later that day we were watching the tape and we noticed the woman, dressed in white, walking along the fence line. There were no reenactments going on that day, and we didn't see her there." They note that the ghost is walking away from the graves of Mrs. Henry, her daughter, and her son and into a field near the black fence to the left of the house. The Henry house stands on the plateau of the hill on which the battle took place. Judith Carter Henry was bedridden and couldn't leave the house at the time of the battle. A projectile burst through the bedroom wall and took her life. Could this lady in white be Judith? You decide. Even ghosts need a drink. Posted by Real Ghost Videos. This one's hard to explain. In the short clip, people are surrounding this water pump, which appears to be pumping on its own. The leveler moves up and down with nobody pulling it, while everyone whips out their phones to capture evidence of the oddity. Soon a large crowd gathers, wondering what this mysterious magic could be. Some suggest it could be air or water pressure, but others think a djinn must be thirsty. It's unusual for ghosts to appear in broad daylight, but apparently this one likes to play games. Published by Ganjam's Pride in October of 2017, a female ghost was caught on camera at the top of this tree. You can see the figure of the purported ghost perched on the branch. It's frozen still there, unmoving, and it's not clear why. YouTubers in the comments have their opinions, while some think it has a logical explanation, like an inflatable doll caught in a tree. Others are 100% convinced this is a ghost. I suppose either might haunt you. This creepy, unexplained photograph, supposedly taken by some outdoorsmen while on a fishing trip, is said to be of an unidentified, unnamed forest creature that has since left the internet baffled. Skeptics immediately dismiss this as a well-done Photoshop effort, or maybe even an art sculpture. While this could be an art project that went viral, others think this is some kind of wild animal that has been shaved down to look more human. Not everyone agrees with this theory, noting the biceps, neck muscles, and upper body definition more closely resemble a human rather than a bear or a wild cat. A shapeshifter is what some people theorize. According to internet rumor, a large number of creatures have been found in different locations throughout the world, although I have to add that I couldn't find a single other picture or video that looked anything like this one to substantiate these claims. Going back to the people who found this creature, they could have at least taken a tissue or fur sample to be tested, yet they only took a picture, no video. So no, I don't think this is real, but things like this are creepy to think about, not to mention I could be wrong. Thank you so much for getting me to 5,000 subscribers on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you.